not a test. This is your emergency broadcast system announcing the commencement of the annual purge sanctioned by the U.S. government. Weapons of Class 4 and lower have been authorized for use during the purge. All other weapons are restricted. Government officials of ranking 10 have been granted immunity from the purge and shall not be harmed. Commencing at the siren, any and all crime, including murder, will be legal for 12 continuous hours. Police, fire, and emergency medical services will be unavailable until tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. when the purge concludes. Blessed be our new founding fathers and America, a nation reborn. May God be with you all.
If you can't get with the style that's going on right now, then you need to be sitting down. If MCs can't get with the style that's going on, then you need to sit down. Get live and then BJ, so sit back, relax, Max about to attack and turn your flame into Similac, cause it's like that. I kick folk out the frame, make it insane with all local stops, with the rumble like the blue train. My figure's format, my format figure all that, no cop for combat, with boy like Super Cat, show you where my head's at and crack you where the bat, where the funk. Take a chunk of it and fatten it, rearrange the skit, make it fit so you can't sit. Ain't that some shit? I rip it, I snap a jaw. Dabba dabba dinosaur, live from Greenmore, under the floors like the roughest of roughneck. Wicked and wicked, check the dissect the MC in his project. All you brothers need to know, though, there's no more best MC, cause that is now me. CG, I am King MC, what's said for me, can't another brother disagree. Got the funk leading all out your trunk, and that's all there is to it. That's all it is. If you can't funk with the style that's going on, then you need to be sitting down. If you can't funk with the style that's going on, then you need to be sitting down. If you can't funk with the style that's going on, then you need to be sitting down. If you can't funk with the style that's going on, then you need to be sitting down. You must got no brain to jack. I'll kill you dead on the spot with the hits I got. Trust my flavor, G, I make you wanna be me. I got what you can't see, something like telepathy. I slow it down, something like this. So it's time for me to stun them. MCs, I want them. I put them on the moon without funk to listen to. Then again, my vibration may give the sensation they're on vacation. Y'all brothers need a fixate. Real rugged alligator MC, hater from the face. You little tic-tac, trying to act like a lumberjack. Sit back and watch how the earth crack. You poke around, you lay around, that's how it goes. And I suppose MCs still wanna try this. King of the mountain is a hard job. Do you understand? Stop it, I'll take you out like the mob. Check it, black. After the Mac, there's no red. Who got even? Shoot it out, shake the hula hoop. Coming out the grind. Getting down. If you can't funk with the style that's going on, then you need to be sitting down. If you can't funk with the style that's going on, then you need to be sitting down. If you can't funk with the style that's going on, then you need to be sitting down. If you can't funk with the style that's going on, then you need to be sitting down. Sometimes I'm old, I be writing, must be fighting. Yeah, I'm on the air, but I don't care. I say a sick wonder, I'll see you sick. Son, grandson, no telling when I'm done. I'm about to do you and you on some news. Fool assassinating, thank you for waiting. Yeah, my bad, I'm looking to the beating in the brain. Make them learn from pain and that's a mistake. You won't get a break. Peace is gate for me to make. You bake, so banzai, here comes the flyers guy that you ever heard in your lifetime. I do a behind, rewind, I wanna kick some more shit, down your forceps, I'll force it, right or lost it. With that, I retrieve it, believe it. I got the fat okie dokie style for a while. Peace from the king. Peace from the king, G. Here it go. One time for your motherfucking mind. If you can't fuck with the style, that's going on. Look at these things here down. If you can't fuck with the style, that's going on. Look at these things here down. If you can't fuck with the style, that's going on. Look at these things here down. If you can't fuck with the style, that's going on. Look at these things here down. Sit down.
Hey, what's good? What's good, my folks? Welcome to the Wyatt Live 5 p.m. Drive Home Show. What's happening with everybody? As you all already know, I'm not happy to say, this type of shit really disturbs me. It really disturbs me. As you already know, the city of Cincinnati has now had another shooting like 10 minutes ago, maybe 20 minutes ago. It was within an hour ago. It'll probably go down as a I'm gonna hold off. I'm gonna wait and see. Because I don't have enough information. My man Stefan Pryor hit it on his Facebook Live down there. So you can go check him out on his page. I'm sure he's off, but at least you could see what's going on. But I've had several different reports. I've had the Cincinnati.com just sent out something online saying that it was one person confirmed shot. But I heard people on Stefan's live, Stefan Pryor, I heard on his live that there were 5 people shot. And I heard it from people that were actually down at the scene. And this is down by Washington Park. I'm not exactly sure what street. Somebody texted to me, but I don't remember off the top of my head. You guys can put it in the chat if you like. But it's right over there by Music Hall, right by Washington Park, the hot spot. I was watching the Cincinnati news yesterday and early this morning. I've been up since 4 a.m. today. I've been up since 4 a.m. I promise you. I just decided it was 5 minutes to 5. And I said, I'm going to go ahead and do the show because I want to talk about, I'm just tired. I'm burned out. I'm tired. But I have to have this conversation today. You think I'm about to get on here and be like, come on, folks, we got to do better. Come on, folks, let's go get I'm wondering right now, before I hit the power, I said, I wonder where they're going to schedule the next meeting. Where's the next meeting going to be scheduled for the gun violence in the city of Cincinnati? Will they do it down at the park where this happened? Where was City Council and its organizers? Where's the next meeting going to be? Woodward High School, Taft? Well, that was close to Taft. Maybe Taft High School. Let's see, where would they go to try to act like they really are about to do some type of transformation of the city? Where's it going to be this time? Yeah, I got a little bit of criticism in me right now. For good reason. Because all they do is meet. That serves the purpose. But even when they meet, they don't really talk about the real issue. They don't talk about the root of the problem. Everybody goes to the easy mark and says it's the gun. Last time I checked, I've never seen a gun walk through Eden Park. Whatever. What's the park down there? What's the park? Camp Washington or some shit like that? Washington Park. I've never seen a gun walk through Washington Park and just start saying, I'm about to unload. I've never seen that. All I see is mentalities and certain elements toting guns and shooting guns, and they don't care who in the way. And until they really start focusing in on that element and stop having so much protection. See, y'all got to understand, it's not just them that's doing this shit. It's these fake ass leaders, it's these fake ass pro, whatever you want to call them, to act like they give a shit about these people who are causing harm to other people. You got to let them people go. I said it first. I'm going to be the only black podcaster, radio guy, TV guy, or whatever. Didn't I tell you the other day you got to cut the head off the snake? You didn't understand what I was saying? Some of you did because you didn't like it. Some people you just can't rehab. Just can't do it. You ain't got to like what I'm saying, but I'm telling you the truth. Where's the next meeting, City Council? Y'all want to have it down at Taft High School? Now, I tell you what, why don't we go down to Washington Park and have it up on the stage and have all the TV cameras come down for photo op, camera time. Everybody want to show why they were elected. They want to show all that shit. But the bottom line is you're not really going after the people that need to go after. You're not holding people accountable that know what's going on. Yeah, the bottom fucking line is this. We got a bunch of bad fucking parents. Oh, I know. Don't blame the parents, Wyatt. It ain't the parents. Well, have you heard some of these school teachers talking lately? Have you heard what the school teachers are saying? These kids can't handle structure. So when they can't handle structure, what do you think when they get out of these structured areas like schools? When they can't handle school structure, they go out here and be destructive in the real world. You don't want to hear that shit. You don't want to hear the truth. Y'all, these babies don't have no fucking parents. Why don't you just open up a home for these babies since you care so much about what's going on? You will definitely have a different take on these babies when one of them come over and slap the shit out of you for your grocery bag. Slap the shit out of you for your Kia. Slap the shit out of you for your paycheck that you carrying around on your card, your debit card. Oh, you'll have a different feeling for these babies. These babies doing grown man shit out here. No child, innocent child, should have to go through what this world is going through. They should not have to be worried out here. Now, y'all could say it's one shot. That's what I'm hearing on Cincinnati.com. One confirmed shot, but I heard it's up to 5. So you telling me they rushed down 5, 6, 7 ambulances for one person being shot? Bullshit. Bullshit. It's one shot because it's right around the corner from the Eagle and all those restaurants and all that hot ass space that I told y'all about down there that they don't report a lot of the crime on. They got to report this. You got to take a TV camera down there with all them gun shells on the ground. You got to. No politician can hide it. They can't hide that. Y'all can hide all the carjackings and don't put it in the news. You can hide all that shit. This is the hottest spot down in that area. And y'all want to put your heads in the sand and act like this shit ain't happening. It's happening every day. Maybe not to this severity, but when you don't check it at the small areas, the small points, it escalates to what you're listening to right now. Bang, 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 bang. Gunshots. When you allow all this little petty shit to happen, it escalates. A bully start out bullying one person. Then a bully will start with 2. He'll escalate to 3 or 4 or 5 or 6, and he'll be the classroom bully, eventually the high school or the school bully. You know why he get up to that many people? He get up to 30 people, and half the school's scared of his ass? Because nobody checked him when it came down to bullying number 1 kid. The number 1 kid didn't check him. The teachers didn't check him. The second guy that he started bullying didn't check him. The third kid didn't check him. Now the classroom's scared of him. And now half the school's scared of him, including the teachers and the principals, and can't nobody do shit with him. You know why? Because it went unchecked. And then guess what? You know who this bully has on his side? You know who the bully has on his side? The bully has, and trust me, I'm drained right now. I don't even feel like this shit, but I had to come today. Had to come now. You know who the bully has on his side? The bully got the people that be like, oh man, them babies, them babies. You don't know how he was raised. Oh, them babies, but they fucking terrorists to the people around them. Why are your babies downtown playing with fucking guns? Why are they shooting each other in broad daylight? Yo babies. Yo babies. Let me explain something to you. Baby is just a figure of speech. It gotta be. Because baby don't mean age. You can't call a 15-year-old a baby when they got adult ways. He ain't been a baby since the 3rd grade. I can tell you right now, there ain't a politician that's gonna take any camera time today when they talk about this shit for about a day or so. Not one of them will say, we got to do better than this, ladies and gentlemen. We got to do better than this, parents. That's detrimental. That's detrimental to their career. Who in the hell would risk their career for the community? I know the community is supposed to be what you do to, for your career. But who would risk their career for the community? The irony in that, huh? The same community that you won't really tell the truth to is the same community that's burning down and being destructive, and you won't even address the right shit. You won't even say the truth. Now, let me ask y'all a question. I'm not all about getting the greatest grades in the world. I wasn't a scholar. I didn't get A's and B's my entire high school years or none of that. Not through college, none of that. I was one of those kids that was getting by in school. I was never the smartest guy. I wasn't the dumbest. I was getting by. But now what do you think the chances are that the people that's down there playing with them guns today, shooting one another, how many of y'all think those are scholars? How many of them do you think are focused in school and got shit on their mind past high school? By the show of hands, how many do you really think are focused in all the right areas? So now my question to you is, whose fault is it if these kids aren't focused? Let's peel the onion back one layer at a time. Because I already know the play. Everybody know the play. If you know the play, in other words, if you know what's about to happen with the TV cameras being down there, you're going to have about 3, maybe 3, maximum 4 city council members down there, and they're going to say the same shit they said in the last shooting. They're going to form some type of little group, and they're going to go find somewhere they can have a meeting, and we're going to have a community activist meeting. We're going to have a community meeting about the violence. Who all know that play? Isn't it an echo chamber, like I mentioned this morning? Isn't it an echo? Isn't that an echo chamber when you can continuously do the same shit, hear the same noise, hear the same shit, and bow, 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 and have the same solution for the problems that you're never solving? That's an echo chamber. I would dare them to maybe try something different. I would dare them to say something and try something different and say, hey, why don't we figure out a way to get some of these parents of these kids that are out here doing what they're doing? Why don't we try to get some of them parents involved? Why don't we get some type of ordinance in the city? Y'all can do that. You got the mayor, you got the city council, you got everything you need. You got the governor on your side. You might not like him because he's Republican, but he might agree with some of the shit if you really want to fix it. He might agree to make it a little tougher for parents to let their kids be fucking menaces to society. He might agree to that. But like the lady in Lightfoot in Chicago told the Donald Trump motherfucker, nah, we don't need no help. We got it. The next week had 72 shootings in our city. We got it, Trump. We don't need your help. We don't need your armed guards. We don't need that. We got it. Anything to stay divided. Anything to stay divided. Our people will even risk our people just to be on the side that they want to be on. And you know what those kids and those people that are taking the most punishment are called? Casualties of a bullshit ass war that certain people continuously have. This world is not hard to live in. It's just hard to deal with. There's people living unbelievably beautiful lives, and y'all think they privileged. No, they just make different decisions. Say what the fuck you want to say about people that live in the suburbs, live where there's no gun violence, live where they don't have to worry about going to the park, and little 1-year-olds and shit like that getting shot up. There's people that actually live like that. Don't have to worry about that. Those people are living great. It's a wonderful day. Every day they wake up and can't wait to open up the picnic basket. But the bottom line is, this echo that you all are hearing is it's a dysfunctional normal ring that you have to hear. I can't wait to see the play. Hit the like button. You ain't gotta like me. If you already know what the play gonna be by the people in charge. Chief of police gonna say the same shit. City council gonna have maybe 3 representatives. We already know what they gonna look like. We already know who they're gonna be, who they are. We already know the 3 that's gonna show up. We already know. We already know they're gonna schedule a meeting by the end of the week or maybe the first part of next week, and they're gonna have a community outreach meeting, and they're gonna want to know what can we do better. It's gonna be the same shit, the same echo. Nobody's gonna say anything. Now, that don't mean the residents aren't going into the meetings and saying, hey, we got kids outside at 1 o'clock in the morning on school nights, 2 o'clock and 3 o'clock in the morning on school nights. The residents tell the truth. The people in the community will come out and tell the truth, but you won't see that on the camera. You'll catch one of them off guard when they not really paying attention, when the city ain't paying attention. You'll catch one off guard. They'll let one slide, and you'll see some lady that'll be like, these kids, man, I tell you, these kids be outside at 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. But why aren't the leaders talking about that? Why aren't the leaders saying what's going on? Now it's then got to the point where you're not doing anything about the kids at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning. You're not doing anything about that. Guess what happens? It becomes very comfortable for them to be the same 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning kid, badass street kid in broad daylight. Like this time of day. You know what? I'm going to be honest and tell you, when I woke up this morning, I told my wife, I said, today is scheduled, and this is real talk. I told her, I said, today is scheduled. I seen it on the news yesterday, seen it this morning on the news, Channel 19. I watched the app, and they said, today is going to be the hottest day in the year in Cincinnati. They said it'll hit 90 degrees up there. Today is going to be the hottest day. You know what was floating in the back of my mind. Well, thank God it didn't happen over the Memorial Day weekend, because it could have been some trouble. But now I thought about it even further, and I said, damn, today is like the second or third day, or maybe even the first day that the kids are all out of school. I'm not even suggesting that it was a school kid. What I'm suggesting is, when there's more people outside, it allows more knuckleheads to come outside. More people. The only type of people that's out here doing this type of shit in broad daylight around kids are people that want to show out. People that want to show how powerful they are and how gangster they are. And they'll do that shit in front of kids. That's how they recruit. When one of these kids that that parent gonna let the streets out hustle him when they see who the gangsters are and they want to be like him? If he out here shooting and robbing and doing what he doing and protecting his turf or whatever you want to call it, when he out here doing it, them kids that's on the teeter fence of being a gangster, are they gonna try to listen to their mama? Guess what? If the gangster look more powerful and look more attractive than his mama, he going that way. That's part of the recruiting. I used to see it all the time. When these politicians, when your city leaders, I'm the only one who call it out. Now, I didn't heard them talk about it on the radio, and I didn't heard people say, yeah, it started home, the parents and all, but they not forcing the people that can make a difference to do anything. It's just talk. It's echo. Where the people at to make a difference? Why aren't there people? If a cop was out here shooting somebody, y'all be marching your motherfucking asses right down to City Hall. Everybody. Signs in the air, music, flags, all type of shit. It'd be marching down to the damn police station, marching to the damn city council, wanting something to happen to that one individual. Y'all don't seem to be that brave when it come down to knowing where the knuckleheads are and the gangsters are. You don't want that smoke. I don't blame you. But if you're going to sign up to be a leader, you got to be ready for that smoke. If the only smoke you want leadership is easy targets, you're not a leader. You're not a leader if all you want is easy targets. I have not seen not one official call out parents. Why? Is it because we're wrong to feel the way we feel as the public? People in the community know who it is. They know what's going on. And to be honest with you, most of the time, it's not even somebody that's from that community that do those shootings. It's usually some beef or somebody coming from somewhere else, an unfamiliar face or a familiar face that lives somewhere else, and they come down with that smoke. That's normal everywhere. Somebody asked me about the shooting in Hollywood, Florida, over Memorial Day. The 1-year-old, the 3-year-old, the 6-year-old all got shot. Thank God nobody died. Y'all asked me, I seen somebody DM me like, bro, you talking all that. You don't even know if them people was from Florida or not. Yes, I do. I wouldn't have said what I said. That whole beach area is travel area. Locals don't go there. They don't go there. They'll go some, they know where to go. They don't go in the area where travelers come. They don't do that. That be the out-of-towners going over to Hollywood Beach like that. Don't tell me what I know and what I don't know. Don't assume that I'm just saying something out of ignorance. Like I'm just ignorant to the fact, I'm just assuming. No, I know. I've been here too long. Let me ask you something. With somebody traveling to Cincinnati who's on vacation, a family from, I don't know, Omaha, Nebraska or something, if they came to Cincinnati, if they don't know anybody in Winton Terrace, do you think they would go visit anything in Winton Terrace? Hell nah, that ain't on the map. That ain't on the visitation map. Not anywhere on a visitation little pub or hub or whatever. Ain't nothing marked about Winton Terrace of, yeah, there's some visuals, there's some sights. You and the family, y'all go up there and look. When you go to Chicago, there's plenty of places to go. When you go to Chicago, you can go down to Michigan Ave. You can go to Navy Pier. You can do everything in Chicago as long as you don't go to the South Side. South Side is not on the map. So if something happens in the South Side, chances are it was not somebody from out of town. It was local shit. Same thing if something happened on Michigan Ave. Chances are it's somebody from out of town coming in doing that. So don't tell me about Hollywood, Florida. I know about it. Y'all get everybody you ask for. You feel so good. You conditioned to be asking for people that look like you and you think it changed. Y'all don't remember when everybody, see, look, I'm not going to blame the administration because it's not their fault. But I remember when they stood up with a deacon, a reverend, a Buddha, and they had a priest. I remember they had a prayer service. What? At the Justice Center. In the sheriff's office department. Y'all don't remember that? Am I the only one gonna remember that? When they prayed and was like, yeah, we about to change the city, crime gonna be different, we gonna start holding people accountable. Y'all don't remember when that happened, when the new administration came in? I do. You know how I remember, and I remember it like it was yesterday, for the reasons of where we are today. Because I know they can't make no difference. It ain't no city council. They can't change what people are doing. They can add preventative measures, but that ain't really on their radar. Because if you add preventative measures, that means you got to punish parents. You got to punish voters. You got to say some ugly shit. I told y'all, don't ever. The next one who asked me, will I run for city council? Here's my last time telling you, never. I would be Eric Mays. Yeah, I would be the most ridiculous county council member that you've ever seen outside of Eric Mays up in Flint. I would. Because I would damn near, I'm not cut for that. I would probably cuss everybody out, not the council member, not the council. Maybe a couple, but I'm just saying, I just would have a problem. I'd be in the news media like, now y'all know there was 13 damn jackings last night. Why the fuck y'all wasn't in Over the Rhine yesterday? Why? Why didn't y'all put that on the TV? But see, I already know why they don't do that. I already know why this spot is hot and they just don't talk about it. I already know. You got the FC Cincinnati Stadium right, 2 blocks down? Ain't nobody building no $800 million something and gonna be talking about crime is around there. Nobody gonna do that. They ain't gonna tell you the truth about that. That shooting happened, 2 blocks? Maximum 3 blocks from FC Cincinnati Stadium. Shit. They gotta talk about it. It was a shooting. Now here's the smoke screen. There'll be a group of people talking about, we got to do a ban on guns. And then it'll be, why do people need those AR-15s? I can probably tell you right now, there was not an AR-15 used in today's shooting. It was probably all handguns. And these guns, to be honest with you, probably came from states that you have easy access to weapons. But now let me ask you, why aren't those states that have lenient gun laws, why don't they have a bunch of crime in their state? Could it be that the element who use guns illegally don't live there? If that's the case, then you can't say stricter gun laws prevent shootings. You can't say that. Because where there's looser gun laws, they have less crime. Where they have stricter gun laws, they have heavier crime. Your point is mute to me. The bottom line is these are individual choices. And if we didn't have any guns on the street, if the only people who carry guns were police officers, they would still find, criminals gonna find a way to be, they're gonna be violent, one way or the other. And here go the craziest thing. There's a group of people that say, this is why the Second Amendment don't, like, y'all got so many guns, and they don't understand why a lot of people out here want to carry guns for their protection. Everybody that's toting a gun is not a gangster. A lot of us carry weapons to be safe. A lot of us carry weapons to be safe. We carry our guns because there's people that don't have no business with guns. It's not because we out here trying to be TJ Hooker. Ain't nobody out here trying to motherfucking save the world. It's like the bus driver. Everybody found something to say about the bus driver. Everybody found something to say about the kid. How did he get that gun? That motherfucker 2 years old, 22 years old. He probably didn't have that gun or many guns 5, 6 years now. He 22 years old, and y'all worrying about how did this little boy, you called him a little boy. How is this little boy getting a gun? He 22. And he talked to a man damn near twice as old as him and was disrespecting him just like they do school teachers. This type of behavior starts early. 59 bullets down there, Black Fox. Me and Black Fox were on the same, we were on Stefan's live at the same time. He was showing, he pulled up, he's seen it. Look, we seen it. We went on his live. After the show, go to Stefan Pryor's page and you'll see what happened. Well, they don't show you what happened, but you'll see the fire trucks, you'll see the police cars, you'll see some of the the broken glass from the gunshots. War zone. War zone. You don't get 59 bullet shells on the ground without a war zone. Y'all didn't see this shit coming? Y'all don't see this coming? I see it coming. When I woke up this morning, I said it last night. I seen the news last night and they said tomorrow temperatures in Cincinnati are expected to be 90 degrees. It's going to be the hottest day of the year in Cincinnati tomorrow. Woke up this morning, looked at my phone, watched Channel 19 on my phone, and they said the same thing. Today is expected to be 90 degrees in Cincinnati. It's going to be the hottest day of the year. On this side of my brain, I said, uh-oh. It's hot outside. It's going to be some crazy shit. You know why? Because that's when people come outside and they want to prove how masculine they are. They want to prove how gangster they are. That's when people start bumping heads because they got a bunch of free time. They got a bunch of free time and their mind is idling. Their mind is on shit that ain't got nothing to do with anything positive. They at war amongst themselves and nobody wants to clean the shit up. You know why? They're afraid to. They're afraid to tell the truth. You know how many gangsters I talked to in my career? I done been told, shut the fuck up. I've been told that. And I shut the fuck up. I tried. I have done it. That's how I know the difference between a soft target and a hard target. I done had brothers sitting in my desk and I'd be like, bro, you can't do this forever. I'm going to do this shit till I die, nigga. That's what he would tell me. I'm going to do this shit till the day I die. You got a problem with it? I'll get somebody else on my situation. What I'm going to say, I gave it a shot. And there's a lot of brothers that give it a shot. I'm not the only one. But where's the leadership? We're only a small piece. We need the leaders to come up and say the right things. But they're going to echo. They're going to echo. It's going to be an echo chamber. You're about to hear the leadership here shortly. And none of them will say anything about parents, home. They'll blame poverty. They'll blame school choice. They'll blame they not getting Black history in school. They'll find any distraction than to talk about the real issue. And the real issue is these kids aren't sitting at home with their parents anymore. They're not breaking bread and having dinner with their parents anymore. They're just not doing the shit we used to do as kids. They don't cherish life. If they don't cherish their own life, how the hell are you going to cherish someone else's? Yeah, I know. You know what? I get it. I ain't going to sit here and tongue wrestle with nobody. I'm giving my opinion. If you differ from my opinion, that's fine. Leaders can only do so much. I get it. But I know one thing we don't get out of our leadership, and I don't know who will agree with me. We don't hear them say what I'm talking about. We don't hear them saying the right. Okay, I feel what I'm saying is right. Maybe what I'm saying is wrong. That's why they don't do it. But it's pretty damn obvious what they've been saying for decades now has not been right. So why don't you try a different approach? Until they try that, they'll never know if what I'm saying is actually wrong or not. I'm done with the excuses. This is not an excuse me or an excuses ass platform. So anybody that want to hear all of the soft talk, anybody want me to be like, oh, you know, these kids, you know, all that old shit, this ain't it for you. This ain't the spot. This ain't it. We don't make up excuses. We talk about the problem. Now, once you focus in and zone in on the real problem, then you can settle in on some solutions. But if you keep slapping people on the hands, or if you're not punching these bullies back in the first grade, they grow up to be terrorists in their own community. And everybody's scared of them. Somebody asked me the other day, the reason why they said this, and then they asked me, they said, the reason why we have so much gun violence in the United States is because the United States has too many guns, and no other state, no other country has as many guns as the United States of America. Number one, is because we're free. Not every country is as free as America. Number two, our court systems are a hell of a lot more lenient than most countries. Try, as barbaric as this might sound, try hearing that if you do some shit, if you go steal some shit, that the court system will cut your hands off. See how crazy that shit sound? But it's a preventative measure. It's a preventative measure. Get caught with a gun in Iceland and see if you don't go to jail for 25 years. Just getting caught for it, no excuse. Just find out the laws of these places that you say got low crime. Find out what the punishment is. I heard today. I don't even know why I was listening today, because I couldn't find it. So I just started searching, but I heard somebody say on a platform that Brittany Griner got used. This is what I hate when I hear people talk ignorant. When they say that Brittany Griner got done bad, the only thing she got done bad doing was her sentence amount. Everything that she did was breaking a law in another country. That country happened to be Russia. They didn't give her any more time than the maximum. That law is on the books, whether you like it or not. I heard somebody say that girl been doing that for years. They just caught her this time so they could use her for a pawn or whatever. She can't be smarter than that. She don't know that Russia is in war with Ukraine, and Russia is they mad at America right now for sending over $100+ billion. And then you want to act like they rewrote the damn rule book when she got caught. Well, it's the equivalent of having such and such in America. Well, she didn't get caught in America. She didn't get caught in America. She got caught somewhere else that's a little bit more severe on crime. It's a preventative measure. They didn't have that law written in pencil. When she got there, they didn't say, okay, let's change it to from a 3-year maximum to 10-year maximum. That ain't what they did. The 10-year maximum on what she committed the crime of, that she pled guilty to, had a maximum of 10 years. She was never going to do the 10 years. But the books was the books. The law was the law. The maximum sentence was the maximum sentence. They didn't make the shit up. And it wasn't the law that was meant for pro-black basketball LGBTQ players when they come overseas to Russia. This law is for them only. No, that's the Russian law at the airport. Somebody asked that question, and then they had all the answers of why the crime is so low in other countries. And I can guarantee you most of them that asked me that shit ain't been past Newport, Kentucky. Here, I done lived in 3 countries in my life. And I can tell you one of the preventative measures that they have is my friends that were German. never wanted to rock with me when I was doing some of my little shit. You know why? Because number one, I've said this before, I've said it many times. One of the reasons why they don't want to get in trouble over there is because their family name is degraded. Think about that. You ain't even got to be super important for that shit to matter to them kids over there. Everybody's parents aren't council members and shit like that. They're regular, go to school, everyday people working at the factories, working as cab drivers, working in the little store boutiques and all that, working at the bakery. But you know what? That hardworking everyday citizen, if they kids get in trouble, their name is degraded. They look bad in their community. And them German kids would be like, oh, nah, I can't do that. I can't do that. If I do that and we get caught, my parents will be mad at me because I'm messing up our name, and they are responsible for what I do. They hold the parents responsible. So what do you have as a preventative measure when parents are responsible for their kids' actions at an early age? You have a parent raising a kid that's responsible for their kid at an early age. And if the kid does some shit, the parent is responsible. If the kid is fighting teachers at school, it's bad on the parents. Bottom line, if a kid punch a teacher here in America, the kid get in trouble. There's no repercussions to the parent other than if the parent now got to go get a lawyer. Chances are they're going to end up with a public defender. Parent ain't going to pay $2,500, $3,000, $3,500, $5,000 for their kid who punched the teacher when they can get representing for free when they know ain't nothing going to be a slap on the hand. They're going to get kicked out of school, got to go to another school, and there's nothing that parent is going to have to face. So don't ever ask me or never make that comment to somebody like me and you say, well, it's guns. Because if the gun violence is not so bad in other countries, it's only because they let Americans have guns. No, what you don't understand is other countries have a little bit more responsibility when it comes down to their name, not getting in trouble in the streets. And it starts at the beginning of these kids' life. I'm going to say some shit that you ain't going to like right now. So hard, I got to take a sip. This is going to get me canceled. It's okay. I've been doing this. It's been a good ride. Been a good run. I'm going to say it. I get tired of hearing people say this. This is going to really make a motherfucker hate me, but somebody got to say it out loud. Someone got to say it out loud. And I know it ain't going to come from our leadership. They wouldn't dare say it because they need your vote. The bottom line is, we got to figure out how to stop parents being parents to kids that aren't ready to be parents. That's to cut the head off the snake. Somebody asked me the other day, well, hi, what's to stop it? They think that's some fucking Columbo-ass question. Well, what's the solver? What's the problem solver? Okay, the reason why that's hard for a lot of people to answer for you because they're afraid to answer it. I'm not afraid to tell you that the fact is we got parents that ain't got no business being parents. They had parents that didn't have no business being parents. Now we got two people that are parents that neither one of them had any business being parents. Bottom line. That goes for white people, black people, Asian. That go for everybody. If you got a kid out here that's being a menace, chances are they come from a bad home. Common denominator in the penitentiary. All you got to do is do the studies. All you got to do is look at the shit. The common denominator in the penitentiary is low education, broken home, bad parenting, abused, something of that nature. Though that's the mechanism. That's the, you know how you get those locks and you got to go right, go 32 right, 16 left, 14 right. There's the combination to open the shit up right there. That's it. Let me go to the phone lines. Let me see. Good afternoon, caller. This is Wyatt. Who am I speaking with?
Hi, Wyatt. It's Angela. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Angela Kinney, what's good with you, sis? How you feeling?
Oh, I'm doing well. I'm on hands-free, so driving. I didn't know if I would have any echo or anything.
Oh, no, you're good.
But,
you're good. It's a little echoey, but you're good.
Oh, okay. I'll get it out real quick. With this police thing, I am so disgusted with City Council now. I have pretty much watched all their meetings. I watched Scotty Johnson. Now, you sung his praises. He's an ain't shit for me. And that's because with his law and public safety or public safety and governance, he never, hardly ever talks about any of this violence. And to be an ex-cop, I would expect better for him. When they put him over that subcommittee, they were expecting there would be some type of insight or, you know, he'd have all this revelation. He's come up empty for me. The police chief come up empty for me. City manager come up empty for me. When they had the black police chiefs, they had to come up with all type of programs and all these detailed things about how they were going to address crime. Harry Black on the corner, drunk, half the time showing up at crime scenes. I've never seen the city manager, acting city manager when she was active, showing up to any of this. Now she's in the middle of all this budget stuff, and, you know, it's all rah-rah, the women are running things now. Yeah. But I'm not impressed, okay? I'm really not impressed. And they hardly have any law and public or public safety and governance meetings. If they have 2 a month, you're lucky. They are spending so much money on street calming, building humps. Now, these goofballs are about to get the speed limit or trying to get the speed limit reduced on Reading Road down to trying to change an ordinance or whatever, because with it being a state route, it can be a certain mile an hour. So they're trying to get that changed and get the speed limit reduced down to 25 miles an hour. Now, how are you going to have side streets going faster than your main thoroughfare?
That don't really make much sense.
0 cents. And also when it comes to all these crime things, he's just super silent to me. Once again, city manager, super silent. You know, we are getting ready to have District 5 closed. They're going to, and this is happening by the end of the year, since they didn't want to do that lease or build a new one, because, you know, they moved them out after, 5 or 6 of the police officers all got cancer, but mysteriously, they had no idea where it came from. And they moved them off of, was that Victory Parkway?
Yeah, Victory Parkway.
I don't know. Yeah, over there by Cincinnati State.
Right.
So with that, you're going to have districts stressed, okay? They already have a police complement that's going down. They have so many police officers that are leaving and retiring early. They're not even staying. They've changed to where they're, I forget what they called it, to where they advance the officers up the rank. They're pausing that a little bit so they have more people, you know, to put it on the street. You also saw where they were reshuffling some things around, and now some of these people that was on those cushy desk jobs and inside, they're getting them into the street rotation. So we're in serious trouble. If you see how this is, and you got somebody who's been at a desk for 5 or 10 years,
they ain't
really
ready. They not ready.
They ain't prepared.
They're not ready for them streets.
And it's so frustrating to me because they don't discuss any of this. They're happy they put money in the budget for more police recruit classes. Well, that's fine and dandy, but what that means is you're going to have a bunch of neophytes out here on the streets. And That's still no good. Somebody who spooked only been on the force, 6 months?
Right.
And
Now
they encountering people that's busting 50 shots and hitting 3 people in the head or body or face, whatever is coming out. Don't matter where they got hit. They hitting folks, whether it's by aim or by accident.
Angela,
I'm so fired up right now.
Angela, let me say this before you go on, so I can let the people know why you have the floor, and I respect what you say. Just give me 1 second. The reason why I don't have a problem with what Angela says is because she put the work in. She goes down to City Hall. She goes to the meetings. If she's not there, she pull them up on the phone. She shares it in the Wyatt Live Messenger group. She's at these committee meetings. She's listening to the people on city council. She's paying attention to what's going on at these meetings and stuff. So I see her as a valuable information piece. So go ahead, continue to go on, because some people may not know you, Angela, or what you do. But I just wanted to let the people who may not know, I wanted to give them an idea of who you were. But go ahead, sis. I'm sorry.
Okay, well that's pretty much it. What I've got to say, and it's just gonna be a long, hot summer. And now I'm very interested since Chief Fiji's finally gonna show up on the scene or something and address it. But I'm on my way to this thing downtown. That's why I was like, oh snap, there's a shooting downtown. I wanted to make sure the thing I was going to wasn't, in the mix of it or,
Right.
canceled because of that. But it's in the city, downtown.
I got you.
But I don't know. We just in for something. We just in. And I shared something else in the group where Rob Williams was on 19 and he was interviewing somebody, and they showed up where the shooting was, because they're like, they basically have to come to the kids, and they were like, they know that'll be the area where they can kind of talk to them and try to divert them. Because, the parents ain't really interested in trying to get these kids involved in anything. You know what I'm saying? If it was up to me, I'd find somewhere for my child to be, even if that was sweeping somebody's beauty shop or taking out somebody's trash. They're going to do something about 3 or 4 hours a day during the summer, whether they got paid or not. But they're going to be a candy striper. You're going to go to the old folks' home and read books.
You're going to do something. You're going to do something. Absolutely.
So the parental part is missing, but they constantly talk about how the kids ain't got nothing to do. Well, the kids ain't shit parents. So that's where we have to step up and do something. But the first line is the parents. You know what I'm saying? And then we come in as the community and undergird. You know what I'm saying? Then we advocate for shit. We ain't gonna advocate for shit for your badass kid to go somewhere and fuck it up for the kids that act right.
Oh my
Sorry
goodness.
about cussing.
No,
but,
I mean, damn. Hey.
That's pretty much how I feel. So
I understand, sis. I appreciate you coming in and giving us that fire. I mean, the bottom line is this: we see people that do crazy stuff out here on the streets, and then you got people that not necessarily co-sign what they do, but they don't understand when something bad happened to them people. You understand what I'm saying? They out here being destructive to good people, and then when something happened to them, you got so many people that want to have a shoulder for them to cry on. But I'm not understanding why we are I believe in forgiveness, but I believe in fixing first. I don't forgive anybody until I know they're fixed. You can't do something to me and then I'm just going to forgive you, but you're going to continue to be what you are and who you are. I don't forgive people like that. I watch out for you. I distance myself from you. I can't forgive somebody that's not fixed. All right. My grandmother always told me, they'll never do you right until they change. Once they change, you forgive them for what they did. But until they have changed, don't forgive them, because they'll get you every time. And if you forgive them before they fix, get ready to get what they did to you again. Get ready for it.
Yeah, well, and tonight is supposed to be reggae night over in Washington Park. They thought they was on to something, moving the black folks up out of downtown off the square.
Right.
Like that was going to curb some violence. Well, you're going to have people, I don't know if they canceled the Washington Park thing or not, but, it's just wherever. It's wherever. So it's going to roll over to where it impacts the adults, and the adult shit that gets done. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Because the kids just out here running The insane asylum. That's what it is. I just think we're in an insane asylum and the kids is running shit.
Well, let me ask you a question, if you don't mind. Try to answer this one for me, because I think you hot it and heated and can tell the truth. Let me ask you this. Somebody put in the chat, they said crime happens everywhere. We all know that, right? But where is this type of crime happening at in the city other than where we see it? I mean, we know that kids shoot and play with guns and accidentally shoot each other in the hood, and we know it happens in the suburbs. But where at in the city or surrounding areas do you see this type of consistent violence going on? You can blame whatever you want to blame. You could say crime is everywhere in all areas of Ohio. You can say that. But I can guarantee you the majority of the mass shootings that come out of Ohio are going to come from the cities. All right. Now, why do we tend to make excuses for the people in the city? And we say things like, it ain't nowhere for the kids to go. There's, the schools are bad. I mean, all of what we talking about here, the parents play a big role of their kids being successful, not falling victim to everything that they make excuse for over there. Do you understand what I'm saying? Okay, like you just said, don't nobody want to be putting their money up and getting spaces for these kids that don't know how to act, to go in there and tear it up and mess it up. Nobody wants to invest in something like that. And if you're not raising those kids right to go in and understand that you don't have the right to have that facility, that's a privilege. We got to teach kids what privilege is versus what they think their rights are. And these kids are growing up thinking that they got the right, and they got it all confused. We got to, go ahead, I'm sorry.
You've got the kids acting like that, but that's a direct reflection of the type of parenting they got. Okay?
Absolutely.
Because the parenting thinks they're owed something. Do you remember, growing up, we would go out and play in the street, okay? We didn't have all this stuff given to us. So when you say the problem is they don't have anywhere to go or you're not investing in them, you need to have some kids that are worth investing in.
Right.
So that's why we're not, meshing with that.
Exactly.
You got people that want to do stuff, but then you got to go and parent somebody else's kid, and you got the kids talking back. Even if you do have a good space for them, all you need is a couple of them to run through there, and it's just crazy. You know what I'm saying? Who wants to volunteer and try to pour into the youth when they're combative? They cussing at you, they wrestling and fussing with you, but you're providing them the space. You know what I'm saying?
It's crazy.
We just lost. That's it.
You got to be careful, Angela, because when we start talking like this, if I agree with you and we had these serious conversations and we start talking about the untalked about, then we're focused on being people who don't like our own people. Because we
can, okay.
but
I see that.
I understand.
When you word chat and talk it up, every time people see me out in person, I'll be like, oh no, I can't rock with that. So I talk it just the same way I do in the chat, in person, whatever, because it don't make sense. That was at some point we have to start making sense, okay? And you got lost kids because you got lost parents giving them the belief that they're entitled to something, and that if they don't get it, they can get an excuse to wild the fuck out. Well, no, you can't. And whatever happens to you, happens to you. If you go down, if you catch a case, then that's it.
Yeah. Okay,
I don't know what we're supposed to do. I really don't get it.
Well, I think we all understand what needs to be done, but we're just not the ones to do it. But we know what needs to be done. We got to figure out a way to have parents be a little bit more responsible for their kids. We need real parents raising kids, and that'll ease it. Now, here's my other argument. I just want to say it while you're on the phone. My other argument is I hate it when people say, but you don't say that about the white kids. All kids get in trouble and this and this and that. Just like y'all be selective in your arguments of what happened to us, I'm very selective in the shit that we do. How about that? Match that right there. Everybody want to talk about, but Wyatt, you don't talk about how bad the white kids are. You don't talk about this. You don't talk about, maybe I don't care. All right. Maybe I don't care about how bad they are. Maybe that ain't what worries
me. I
me.
don't care about it because I ain't white. That's why I don't care. Number one.
Well,
I don't care because I'm not white.
I'll honestly say it.
People, but I want the black people to act right. Okay, I want them to do right, and it's a process.
I agree. All right, sis, are you still going downtown?
Oh yeah, I'm downtown now. Getting ready to park.
Well, you make sure you be careful, okay?
Oh, I'll be in and out really quick.
Okay. All right. Thanks for calling, Angela, and thanks for what you do on Wyatt Live Messenger Group. It's much appreciated. Okay, sis?
All right. Take it easy. Hey,
y'all. Take it easy.
Bye.
All right. All right. That's Angela Kenny. I respect everything that she says. It's definitely a problem that needs to be addressed. And we just need to, I'm tired of saying we need to do better. I think we need to do something different. Not do better, none of that. We just need to do something different. I kind of have a plan. People gonna be mad at me, but I got a plan. All right, let me go back to the phone lines real fast. Good afternoon, caller. This is Wyatt. Who am I speaking with?
Wyatt, it's Tracy. I hope this isn't considered double dipping since I called this morning.
No, it's two different shows, sis. You right in line, no problem. What's going on? Your phone sounds great.
Shout out to Angela. She's always on point. I want to talk about the different side of the coin. So with District 5 closing, you're going to have angry police officers who have been used to working first shift that are going to get bumped back to second shift because of seniority. And they have been so happy being on first shift. Now they're going to be bumped to second and third shift, which is really going to cause a mind shift in police officers who are angry already that this whole fiasco is going down with the closing of District 5. So you got first is going to be bumped back to second is going to be bumped back to third, and it's just going to be a ripple effect of anger because of this whole closing of this district. And I know that for a fact because I have somebody that I was just talking to about this on Friday who was about to be bumped back. So it's not going to be a good thing.
I understand. And you think that's going to add a little animosity out on the streets?
Yep, I think so.
So it's kind of like
I can see it already. It's going to be hot. They're going to be angry. They're going to be, some might be combative, not all. But I mean, imagine if you were used to working first shift and now you got to go do 10 hours on second shift or third shift. I'd be pissed off.
Yeah, I wouldn't be happy.
But that's the way the seniority game is played.
Yeah, I wouldn't be happy about that either. And on top of that, imagine having a bunch of people out on the streets that are mad at you. You see what I'm saying? Now you got double jeopardy. You just got double anger out there. You got a whole bunch of emotion and a whole lot of other stuff. The streets mad at the people they mad at the streets, and then they also mad at the police. And then the police,
both sides will be triggered.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean that's just real. That's some reality that can happen.
Yeah.
And we're gonna see possibly some things that probably are gonna happen that are what we would call uncalled for. And it probably is uncalled for, but we never really do the study of the nucleus of what's going on. Like we never see that this police officer that reached for his gun real fast might have just been in a chase an hour ago. Somebody shot at him and they got away. And now an hour later, he's in another situation. And now he's putting himself back in that place an hour ago. Because none of us really do that job. All we do is Monday morning quarterback after they get detained, and we talk about how wrong somebody is for what they did. We don't know what happened an hour ago before that. None of that is an excuse, but it's reality. Okay, it's reality. Yeah. So we just got to keep in mind all of the things that our leadership is doing for people to be put in the frame of mind that they're in. That's all I can tell you. And I'm gonna tell you one thing about the police officers, like in Chicago, I use them as an example. They're not happy with their leadership. They're not happy with their city councils, and those unions aren't happy with the way that they're being treated as police officers in them cities.
Yeah.
They're not happy.
Well, I think too, Wyatt, I think that, every summer you, me, city council, everybody anticipates summer. Oh, it's about to be hot out here. It's about to be crazy. Well, how many summers are we going to say that without a plan?
Oh,
You
it's
know what
been
I mean?
decades. It's been they've been saying that shit since a little bit right after the jazz festival. So you know how the jazz festival was when we was downtown. When we
Right,
hung out. When that slowed
right.
down, so it's been 20, 30, it's been 3 decades, 2 to 3 decades. You might not have heard, but the echo chamber is going to happen tonight. You're going to hear the city council members and the leadership of Cincinnati saying the same shit that they said at the last shooting and the shooting the last year and the year before that. And we're going to see that they're going to have a town hall meeting. They're going to talk to the residents of the community. They're going to do it at a school. They're going to do the same shit they've been doing. That's the normal
Well,
play. That's in the playbook.
it's funny, I was giving somebody a tour of Cincinnati on Sunday, and I took them to Eden Park, and I was getting ready to make a left turn, and I had to explain why I couldn't. I said, see, we used to be able to turn left. I said, but when all of the, here, I don't want to piss Wyatt off. When all the Black folks were congregating at Eden Park, they rerouted the whole plan. We had to go one way. We couldn't go up top without going this way. And here we are 30, 35 years later, and we still cannot make those turns and do those things. It's just, I don't know, but some people were acting a fool at Eden Park. I will say that. And it's always a cause effect, a ripple effect, but we just got to have a plan. We got to get on it in the winter before summer gets here.
But sis, let me say this about Eden Park. I was one. I'm guilty.
Go.
Yeah, no, seriously. I'm guilty of being one of those that was in Eden Park on Sundays. Remember them drive-throughs on Sunday?
But that's nothing to be guilty of unless you was there acting a fool, cutting up and wilding out.
You're right. If you would have let me finish, you would have got that out of what I was saying. But it's cool. No, I appreciate you, sis. I was guilty of being in Eden Park on Sundays, driving through and profiling and doing what we do. But I was never one of them guys that was out there fighting. I didn't have a gun ready for some action. I wasn't doing all that shit like they doing today. Plus, let me tell you something that what we got to get over. We got to stop being so damn entitled and then we got to stop being entitled to shit, right? Eden Park is a public park. Yes, we have the right to be there, but we don't have the entitlement to just do whatever we want to do when we get there. You get what I'm saying? You cannot be a menace to the area. There are residents there. And you can't not just give a fuck, or excuse me, you can't not just give a shit because the residents happen to be white. They bought those properties wanting a park view and living in a parked area, a park, swings, and, every once in a while cookouts and stuff out there. They don't want weed smoke and tents and shit all day and backed up traffic. They don't want that. And then we get all in our feelings talking about they being all acting this one way and all that, when in fact those people have property value to worry about. They got to work. They got to make sure that their area stay clean. They can't have a congested road and have bags, Grippo bags and hot pickle bags and shit floating all over down the street and shit. You got to respect the area. And then we get out of pocket. Oh, this is a public park. We can do what we want to do. No, you can't. No, you can't do what you want to do. You have the right to be there, but you're not entitled to the space.
Well, I tell you what, I was quite shocked. It wasn't us there on Sunday. It was a lot of whites and a lot of Hispanics, and those Hispanics had the grill going. I said, well, damn, times have changed.
Absolutely.
But,
it changed because we chose different places.
Yeah.
We go different places now. We go to, what did you say?
I said, even my neighborhood.
Yeah, it changed. People just migrate to different areas, and now we what they call it, we light up other areas when it's time to light up. It's just, that's what we do. It was a phase when, you couldn't catch us nowhere on Sunday but there when we was coming up. You know what I'm saying? Eden Park was the spot. But,
I can't believe why you and I have crossed paths. Even you was probably at Withrow when I was there, whether you accept your age or not, but we never met. The Fay Apartments, Withrow, Eden Park, all of that.
Well, I've always been a loner though, sis. I've always been, you hung with all the little fly girls and y'all thought y'all was cute and fly. Y'all had the baby hair and shit coming out the front of your hair and all that old shit. I ain't really hang with people like that.
But when you talk about your friends and your big brother, I know all of them. I know a lot of them from the Fay. I don't know them from down the way, as you call it, but I know a lot of them from the Fay.
Yeah.
I remember Steven Speed and all the rest of them. Abernathy's, yeah. But we just never crossed paths.
Well, number one, I didn't come outside in the Faye that much because I was on punishment all the time. That's really true. Like, I was not very good in school, so I tend to my mother. I come from your mama gonna put your ass on punishment. I graduated from ass whoopings in Laura Holmes. Laura Holmes was all the ass whoopings, right? And then when we moved to the Faye, it went from getting my ass whooped because I was like 11 or 12 or so, I don't know. I was right around that teenage age. I was a little too big for my mama to do that. So now it went to keep your ass in the house till I get home from work. So that was punishments. No phone, can't come outside. And I was on punishment a lot. I really was. A lot of my friends that knew me in the Faye, they'll tell you, like, I was stuck in the house all the time. Because I just did shit at school that just, I just used to, like, I had a mouthpiece on me and I get in trouble and I get detentions or get bad grade or something. My mama didn't play that. My mother said, you're going to be something in life. I'm going to make sure of it. She didn't just let me go. She didn't just let me, oh, well, okay. That I'm going to let them people deal with you. That's what kids hear today. You don't want to listen to me. I'm going to let you deal with them people. They going to show your ass. See that? We got to get away from that. We got to get away from that because what happens is them people ain't doing what they supposed to do now. See, our kids are being told by their parents, I'm gonna let them people deal with you. And then them people ain't doing shit. When you get off the phone, sis, I'm gonna play this video of this school teacher. I think my girl
I just saw that. That was crazy.
Yeah, I'm not gonna play the whole thing, but I got about a 3-minute clip. I want people to hear what these school teachers are saying because we got a problem.
They get no help.
Yeah, we got a problem when these when these school teachers are disrespecting these babies, taking their phones, and these kids are entitled. They don't understand the difference. Okay, they don't even know how to be respectful to authoritarian figures. And we got people that actually go out and bat for these kids. Your boy being one of them. I was so disappointed in Fame when he came with that position of these ladies, these teachers that's giving they all trying to help these kids. And he talking about these teachers stealing these kids' phones. You don't have a right to have a phone in school. It's a privilege. In the book, it can tell you, you can't bring a phone to school. If a teacher decides to let you bring one in the class, you got to abide by that rule. The teacher say you can bring it, but that don't mean be on it. You can't cheat on a test and they not confiscated.
Right.
And we sitting here trying to want to go to bed
on TikTok.
No.
And you there to learn.
No, man. And we said, you know what? The parents got to assist people out here too. The bad parents got people that go out here and validate the bad behavior that these kids doing because we want to blame somebody for what these kids are doing because they parents ain't shit. Now we give them, I'm done giving kids excuses. I'm done giving these kids running into retail stores, grabbing all the shit they can because they know they can get away with it. Your mama ain't telling you how bad that is. Come on, man. That's crazy. They not getting checked. And hey. All right, sis, you got anything else?
All right. Nope, go ahead and play the video. I'm going to watch.
Uh-oh, that phone dying. Uh-oh. She must be by her door. All right.
I had it on speaker. I was cheating. I had it on speaker. I'm trying to multitask. Go ahead and play the video.
We hear you washing the dishes. We hear you.
No, I'm cooking dinner for real.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, go ahead and get that dinner in. Y'all have a good night tonight, okay?
You too. Bye-bye.
Take it easy. That's Tracy Dillingham, y'all. Nah, she trying to lie, talking about she had her shit on the damn. She trying to multitask, had me on the speaker. Don't try that. You know the phone was dying like it always do. I can't have one phone call with sis without her phone dying. I'm by the tower, Wyatt. I'm by my doorbell, Wyatt. I cut my water on in my house, Wyatt. You know that messed my phone up. I cut my microwave on, Wyatt. I can't cut my stove on without the phone messing up. I got off my couch, Wyatt, and my phone went bad. You know my phone bad. She be tripping. It's my phone, though. She'll say, what's wrong with your phone, Wyatt? It's her phone. All right, listen, let me get at this. One of my sisters put this in our chat. If our leadership and the people that's wondering why our kids are the way they are, if you're not listening and watching, the school teachers of America, they telling you. But here's the problem. Most of these school teachers that are in public school, they are all part of a union. So they're part of a brotherhood, sisterhood. They're part of a program that if they say something, they could possibly be disciplined in a, not legally, but something could, they got to be careful what they say. That's why you don't hear the police officers coming out telling the shit that I know. See, I know a lot about what the police feel. I know exactly the brothers, the whites, the blacks, the Latinos. I know how they feel about some of the shit that y'all be talking about. I know, but I'm not ever going to reveal what they say. But I will say this one right here because it's relatable to this clip I'm about to tell you. If you have a family member or a friend that's associated with a police officer that works in a public school, Cincinnati public school, I'll use CPS. Ask that friend of yours, can I have a conversation with T or somebody, Tyrone, whoever is the SRO or whoever works in the schools? I'm going to give you a gem and a little hint for you to look for. I want you to ask them how many assault cases they take downtown to the clerk's office to get paperwork on. Let me repeat it. Let me say it a little bit different. I might have said it in the technical kind of way, but I want you to ask these people, these police officers who work in the schools, how often they have to go downtown to the justice center where they have to file charges on somebody. I want you to ask them, how often are they going downtown to file charges on what y'all call babies and kids that are in Cincinnati public schools? I can guarantee you they get 10 visits a day for different kids in CPS. At least 10. That's what I know of. They're down there filing assault charges, some type of charge daily, all day. But you know what? The police will never tell you that. Call me the bad guy. Call me the guy that know what I know, but call me the bad guy. I'm telling you the truth. And the reason why they down there filing is because somebody didn't got beat up. One of them didn't hit a teacher. One of them didn't stab somebody. Somebody did something. What maybe it won't be as severe as something that can get them arrested right there on the spot. But let me tell you what they got. They got officers on deck that go down there and file the charges. And while they down there filing charges, they putting the charge in the system, creating a case number, and they taking that kid to either jail or they're going to meet that kid at home with those charges and arrest them on the site. On site. Y'all don't know that's happening because them y'all babies. Them y'all babies, and we doing our babies so wrong. But why are our babies going to school being so disruptive? I admit they are our babies. But some of these are babies, they parents, you can't tell them shit. If you can't tell a parent nothing, how the hell you going to be able to correct the kid? Because most of the kids that are in school that act crazy, the apple don't fall far from the tree. And we all know that to be the truth. We all know that to be the truth, but damn it, we don't want to have that conversation. We got this thing in our community, and I'm going to say it because nobody else will. We got that complex. We got that Uncle Gerald complex. Anybody know who Uncle Gerald is? Uncle Gerald. Uncle Gerald is the one in our community, in a black family. He's the one that was molesting the boys in our family. The uncle who would molest the little girls and the little boys, and everybody knew, but nobody said shit, but they just kept their kids away from Uncle Gerald. You know, like what Monique was talking about. It's not relatable to me. I didn't go through that. But that's what Monique was talking about in her special. Like, I got a gay cousin, then I got Uncle such and such. That's the one that was fucking all the boys. Yeah, I'm familiar with how this play out. But what we got going on is we ain't gonna never report Uncle Gerald. We ain't gonna never tell the truth about Uncle Gerald. We just gonna let Uncle Gerald be who he is, but we gonna keep our kids in the family away from Uncle Gerald. Nah, you can't spend the night with Uncle Gerald. You can't do this with Uncle Gerald. You can't be with Uncle Gerald. You at the cookouts, you can say, "Hey, Uncle Gerald, yeah, I'll go get you a soda, Uncle Gerald, out the ice box, Uncle Gerald, but my mama calling me." Nobody want to speak on Uncle Gerald. But every mama, every granny, every aunt, everybody that get a certain age know what's going on with Uncle Gerald. But the house don't want to talk about Uncle Gerald. He's off limits to the world. But guess what Uncle Gerald doing if he can't touch your cousins? If he can't touch his cousins, can't touch his nephews, can't touch his nieces. Guess who he touching now? The people out in the community. Now, Uncle Gerald is a loose cannon out there with the kids in the community. And we didn't take the responsibility of correcting and getting Uncle Gerald right in our own home. He out here doing reckless shit in the community. I find myself responsible if I don't fix Uncle Gerald when he's part of my family. Mama and them don't want to tell you nothing about Uncle Gerald. You just keep your ass away from him. I know he bring you Christmas gifts. I know he always give you $5 in your birthday card. I know, and you grow up thinking Uncle Earl or Uncle Gerald is cool. But you never know what the fuck he been up to. The problem is everybody that knows him in our family, in the family, everybody know what he up to. Everybody know what he's about. But don't nobody want to tell the world because it ain't nobody's business. That's not fair. It's not fair. It's not fair to the world to have somebody around you knowing that how dysfunctional they are. It's not fair not to try to correct the problem. You only want to be selfish enough. You want to be so selfish that you only want to prevent yourself and only you from Uncle Gerald. Damn the other kids out here. Damn the other kids. Y'all know there was somebody like Uncle Gerald in every neighborhood. Every neighborhood has some creepy motherfucker that you know was up to no good. Every one of them. White neighborhood, black neighborhoods, where I'm from, I could say the names. I remember they creepy asses. And them family secrets get exposed when Uncle Gerald out there fucking around somewhere else. Ain't nobody shocked but the ones in our family that didn't know. Everybody else knew his ass was going to get arrested one day for some child pornography shit or something. Everybody knew it was coming. But how many kids did he affect out there that you was part of, you was complicit by not having Uncle Gerald situated? You're complicit. And see, that's how we are right now with our kids. We know they got parents out here and it go untalked about, just like Uncle Gerald. They might not be molesters, they might not be this, but we know they're not good parents. And that ain't going for all of them. Don't think that everything I say pertains to everybody. Don't be that shallow. But what I'm saying to you is the majority of the kids that are out here being disruptive, shooting and doing the shit they doing and being gangsters out here, they grow up that way. And they grow up that way and they become young men that way. And then they get in amongst their element and they don't care who's in the way. They don't care. That's how they end up taking flights to Florida and shooting at the beach. Driving to Florida, meeting at the beach and getting into it with other Geralds. Fighting each other and all this old shit. And I love it. I love it when people always say, well, Wyatt, why don't you talk about white folks like that? You always talking about the black people. Well, listen, let me explain to you why. I do the same shit you do. You always talking about what something didn't happen to black folks. Okay, I'm talking about the shit that we do. What's the difference? If you can be selective in who you want to talk about protecting, why can't I be selective in who I see is victimizing us? It's the same shit. So that little shit that you be doing with simple-minded motherfuckers and making them feel guilty on their position, it don't work with me. It don't work with me. You can sit back and call me an elitist. You can call me whatever the fuck you want to call me. I'm going to be here and I'm going to say what I say. I'm going to say it. And you ain't got to like me. You ain't got to like me because you ain't brave enough to see the truth. Brave enough to see the truth, not say it. Brave enough to see it. That's people that's like Gerald, his family. They see it, they just not brave enough to see it. They're not brave enough to attack it. The real root of the problem. They're not brave enough to do that. I am. I'm brave enough to tell you what our real problem is. You talk about racism, you talk about all this old shit, fine. We know it happened. It is not making these kids do what they do today in 2023. You can say redlining. I know all the trigger words. I know all the shit that makes sense. All I got to do is ask you this one question. If all black folks were living like that, if we were all living just like what we talking about right now, I'd be fighting that redlining fucked us all up. There was no recovering from it. Bank loans, racism, all that shit, there was no recovering from it. But we can't say that. We can't say that because the proof is there's people out here that has gone through way more than what you have gone through, and they made it. They made it. My favorite picture in the world is a picture that I love, and I wait for every opportunity to show it. Black Wall Street. These brothers put some shit together, put 600 businesses together when America was not for black people, like y'all like to say. This country ain't for us. They don't do nothing for us. And blah, 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 blah. All that old shit you talk about. Well, these brothers put this shit together at its worst time next to slavery. 1915, 1916 was not good for black folks. These brothers right here didn't care about what people thought about them. They didn't care that they weren't privileged. They didn't care. 600 businesses, 21 churches, 21 restaurants, 30 grocery stores, 2 movie theaters, 6 private airplanes, plus a hospital, a bank, a post office, schools, library, and law offices. You can't give me 5 states that got one city that got all of that in it at one time. And it has nothing to do with white people won't let you get it. It's we don't try to achieve that list anymore. Because you know why? It's probably not necessary. We could do it. How could you do it in 1919 but can't do it in 1920 or in 2020? How could you do it in the worst times of America where no money was being given and they were spending money amongst each other? How could you do it in the worst era of America for black folks, but you can't do it when it's the best time for black folks? I know. Wyatt, who are you to say that the best time? Okay. Technology today, let me hear a black person say they can't get a bank loan. Let me hear a black person say, I couldn't get a business loan because I'm black. When in fact, you don't even have to go into a bank to get a loan. Everything is digital, and it's been like that for years. Y'all remember our early show that I did, and I said, look at all that property. Y'all talking about urban sites buying everything, but they got a bunch of lease signs down there. Why are you worried about owning it right now? Why don't you see if you can be successful? Go lease one of them units, put a business in it, see if you can be successful first before you worried about how other people invest in millions of their own dollars. Go see if you can be successful at the ground floor level before you worried about how somebody's spending their money. You worried about some shit that you ain't on that level yet. I'm not on a level to be competing with urban sites. But Urban Sites is given opportunity to lease these units that they put millions of dollars into these buildings. Why is my argument what the city doing for a person that's giving me an opportunity to be self-sufficient? Why would you argue for something? What the fuck is the argument here? So let me ask you, if I'm a black man and I go buy a building from the city for $1, I go buy a building from the city of Cincinnati for $1 as a black man, and I sink in that building, it's downtown Cincinnati over by the courthouse, let's say. Prime location, but I bought it for $1. It need to be rehabbed. I buy the building and the land, I tear the building down. Well, I keep the building up and I rehab it and I sink $350,000 of my own money in it, and it's finished, and then I lease it to you for $1,000 a month. Why are you mad at the city of Cincinnati for selling it to me for $1? Did you have the $300,000 to fix it up? Of course you got the dollar. But do you have the $350,000 that it's going to take to fix it up? Then why are you mad at me for getting it for $1? And then I'm extending it to you for an opportunity to see if you can do what you can do to be self-sufficient. I'm doing it to you I'm leasing it to you for $1,000. You know there's people out here mad that people can get a piece of property for $1,000. I mean, for $1. But they don't even look past the forward. They can't see the fact that, okay, I bought it for $1, but I got a whole lot of money I got to sink into it. A whole lot of money I got to sink into it to make it up to speed, past the codes. For some odd reason, our leadership and the people around us got us mad and emotional about the wrong shit. We should be mad and emotional about, why didn't I grab that property for $1,000 a month? Put my business in there and be one of 600 black-owned businesses or little small shops. We mad about the motherfucker who bought it. We mad because they was privileged to get a tax abatement. You being confused and dazed by bullshit. Maybe if you go in there for that $1,000 a month, you'll build a book of business. You'll stay there for 2-3 years, build a book of business, and be ready to go off and buy something on your own. That's how it works. We live in a world that's more about classism and that comes first. I hate it when people, I remember that young brother that told, when I made that statement, this same statement that I'm making now, that young brother was like, he called and said, I can't believe you up here talking about them buildings downtown for lease and all that. They ain't gonna let us have those. Well, let me ask you, young brother, have you even tried? Have you gone and knocked on Urban Sites' door? Or have you filled out an application online to put a business in there? No, I ain't do that because I know they ain't gonna let us have none of that, nothing down there like that. They ain't gonna let us have nothing like that. They ain't even gonna give us no liquor licenses. What? So that's all we got to offer to this world is a fucking pony keg, liquor license, grippos, and beer and shit? That's all we can do? You sound ridiculous. First of all, you doubting something and ain't putting no effort towards it. Second of all, you minimizing what you can use a space for. Go get a trade. Go be a tax consultant. Learn the numbers. Do something where you can offer a service. But don't sit back and tell me, a person that's from where you from, bro, and tell me that they ain't gonna let me have. Y'all know I can't stand that type of talk. Click. I can't stand that, but it happens. It's an echo chamber. It's an echo of the same nonsense that we hear over and over and over again. And the only thing that co-signs it is when we see our kids coming up. We see our kids coming up and they hear their uncles and shit say that same shit, man. I'm gonna get this money out here the way I gotta get this money. Man, fuck all that other shit, man. I gotta get to the money. I gotta do this, I gotta get to the money. And our kids hear it. They hear it. And how Uncle T get to the money, that's how his nephew gonna get to the money. Uncle T ain't filled out no business plan. He ain't tried to get a bank loan. He ain't done none of that shit because in his mind, he's been conditioned. He's been taught trauma. They ain't gonna let you have that. They ain't gonna let you do that. There's black-owned banks in Chicago, Illinois. 3 of them. I can go online right now and apply for $5,000. And within 24 hours, I'll get an approval. I ain't walked in that bank. A white guy could do the same thing in a black-owned bank. He can call up, fill out an application, fill out for $5,000. He can do it at PNC. I can do it at PNC. I can do it at Fifth Third. I can do it at any bank a white man can get money. I can get money out of there too. Tell me why you think we can't. I had a guy that I listened to on the radio about a year ago. It's a story that I'll never forget. The brother said he has a 740 credit score, and them white folks ain't letting him buy a building. Because you have a 740 credit score does not mean you qualify for a building. It don't mean that. There's other factors involved other than your credit score. So you get on a black platform and you spread that misinformation because you're older and you think because you got a 740 beacon score that you can buy anything in the world that you want. You can't. There's other factors when you're buying investment property. There's other factors when you're spending the bank's money to do what you want to do. It's not just your credit score. The credit score is a big part of it, but there's other factors. If you don't have those factors tied up and in shape, you might as well have a 580 beacon score. It's all the same. But don't go calling black radio spreading the rhetoric of what's uneven because they treated you bad. First of all, let me ask you this. How many sources did you go to? Did you go to one bank and they told you that you couldn't get that piece of property? And here's the other thing. I've seen enough rejection letters in my life that I can always tell you what the problem is. I'm kind of a master at that shit by now. It's been 20 years. I remember when shit wasn't going too well for me and I was getting rejection letters and I was like, whoa, wait a minute. I know I'm in an equitable situation. I might not have had everything together, but one thing I know I had was my mind was right. I understood certain things, but there's still pieces of the puzzle that I had to put together in order to make this shit work. The credit score was right. The equitable position was right. What am I missing now? The last thing on my mind was, oh, okay, I forgot the factor that I'm black. I forgot. I wasn't thinking like that. I had to think past that shit. And then when I figured out what it was, then I start connecting the dots, and I've been hearing yeses ever since. 20 years of yeses and some nos. But it ain't always for the reason you think it is. I ain't had to walk in a bank and apply for no money in years. And you don't either. I ain't special. You don't have to walk in a bank and apply for no money. You can do that shit online. Wells Fargo online don't know who you are. They go by your social security number and your credit history. That's all they need to know. The computer ain't gonna crash if you hit the black box. You hit the block when they say, what race are you? If you hit black, the shit ain't gonna shut down and crash. I promise you, it'll still work. Leave it blank if you're worried about it. It ain't gonna say, hey, you know what? We can't process your application unless you tell us the race, who you are, what race you are. That don't happen. They don't give a shit about that. They about making money. They want the best candidates that they can make their residuals on. Trust me. I'm going to show you this little clip right here. I think it's important to our point for tonight. I think it's important that we listen to people where it don't just have to come from me all the time. I played a podcast the other day of some sisters that was talking about the people on The View, because I don't want people to think, not that it really matters to me, but I kind of somewhat put a receipt out there. I want you to understand that my point of view on some of the people on The View is not just me. It's not, I see it. I recognize what some of my sisters recognize. I just happened to say something. I didn't realize people was out here thinking the same way I was thinking, especially my sisters. I'm like, how y'all letting these people say this shit about us? I don't get it. You have to be a regular visitor of Wyatt Live to know what I'm talking about right now. But what I want you to do is I want you to listen to this video right here. This is a school teacher. She has a southern accent, so I'm assuming she must be down south, maybe Alabama or something like that. She has a southern accent, just to be fair. It's not a Cincinnati public school teacher. I just want to let y'all know it's not a Cincinnati public school teacher. But I want to thank Princess Flower for sharing this in the group. I want to share it with the live audience. I want you to hear a teacher that looks like us and listen to what they are going through with the product that is hitting these schools. You can't tell me that this is not coming from anywhere but home. It's coming from home. And when home is not intact, you ain't gonna be intact in the streets. And when our politicians and our so-called leaders, when Crump and all them start talking, and Perm in the suit, Al Sharpton and them, when they don't bring these factors in to why people look, I heard Al Sharpton on his intro, I think it might have been today, talking about white man gets charged for shooting a black kid who runs out of his house unarmed. That's going to be his topic of the day. He want to talk about the black kids that's running out of somebody's property or running out of somebody or who got shot in a store for nothing. But let me just say this to you. Y'all know the young man that got shot in Cincinnati in Bond Hill? He was sitting in the barbershop about a year ago. He got shot in the head on his birthday. They found the dude that did it. Happened to be a light-skinned brother. This was the call out on the radio that the police had. Light-skinned male, 35 years old, wearing blue pants and a white shirt. I happen to be a black guy. I probably, with a haircut, I probably could have passed for 35 or whatever. But I had on blue pants and a white shirt that day. Let me say this to you. I got to make this point whether you like it or not. Some of you going to get your panties in a bunch. Your drawers going to be stuck. You're going to have a wedgie for this one, from this one. That same day that report came out to the police department, who they looking for, because they got an active shooter out here that's running from somebody that they didn't shot in the head and left them for dead. I got on that same outfit. I happen to be a light-skinned brother. And if I had a haircut that day, I might be able to pass for 35. I don't know. But let me just say this. Why am I mad at the police if I'm walking in Kroger's or I'm pulling in somewhere and I get out of the car and I fit the description of a motherfucker that just shot another man in the head? Here I am, light-skinned brother, blue pants and a white shirt. Y'all remember that? I told you, I said that day I had on that same outfit. God dang. So why am I mad at the police when they looking at me crazy because I fit the description of somebody that just shot somebody in the head? You know who I'm mad at right now? If the police grab me or say something like, sir, I need to talk to you. You're not under arrest, but I need to detain you because they know that person got a gun. So I'm not a safe person at this point. I'm not mad at that police officer. Now, even if I don't know what happened in Bond Hill, I got to weigh it like who they looking for, what's going on. It ain't me, so why am I worried about it? Why am I worried about it? All right, I'm going to do what they tell me to do because they got things going on. Obviously, it's not me. They'll find that out quickly. But who am I mad at? Am I mad at the police or am I mad at the guy that shot a guy? The guy who shot the guy looked like me, wearing what I'm wearing, light skin, 35-ish or so, shoot a man in the head. And now the police out here looking for every light-skinned brother with a white shirt on and blue pants. Why am I mad at the police? The police didn't do nothing wrong. The dude that shot the dude in the chair, we all should be mad at the guy that shot the guy in the barbershop. That's who our problem is. Our problem is the guy that shot the other guy. And for some odd reason, we never focus in on that. You got people in the neighborhood that'll talk about every black guy that got swept up who had on blue pants and a white shirt, and that's the police fault. Some of y'all know exactly what I'm talking about. Some of y'all know exactly what I'm talking about. And for the people that say shit like all they do is lock us up, I very seldom see a black guy or a brother. I got to say what I say. I've been in the court system for 25 years now. I very seldom see somebody get in trouble for the first time and go straight to the penitentiary. You would have had to have done some serious shit. A F1 or a F2 puts you in the penitentiary right away if convicted. Stop acting like they just putting people in the pipeline of the prison. Most people that get sentenced to jail have been on probation multiple times before they made it to the penitentiary. And if you don't believe me, ask your cousin. We all got a cousin that been to the joint several times. Everybody got somebody in their family that's been to the joint several times. Ask them if they went to the joint the first time they ever got in trouble. Now, let me ask you this. How many of you know somebody that live in another country? I have friends that was scared to death that if they ever got in trouble, they would go to jail the very first time they got in trouble. These are preventative measures. Some countries birth you with these understandings in life. When you're born, they have a very low tolerance of crime. And that's why by the time they 9 and 10, they're not even criminal minded. They're not criminal minded because they already have a clear understanding that if you mess this up for you, you're not only messing it up for you, you're messing it up for your friend, for your family. And until we get to, now y'all know America is an experiment. America is a country that a bunch of migrants and everybody came here. It's an experiment of freedom. It's a constitutional ran country. It's an experiment. One of the experiments was the freedom. Free bylaws, free to make the choices to be great, free to make the choices of not to be shit in your life if you don't want to be. That's what comes with freedom. How you choose your freedom is on you. I'm going to choose my freedom to be great. Some people going to choose their freedom to do whatever they want to do. They'll break laws. They'll disrespect other people. And then they'll keep going in these cycles. They'll keep going in these cycles. And that's our problem. Our problem, just like that dude said, Joe Rogan said on the podcast, and I played the tape. He said only 340 people in New York are the problem with crime. You got 343 people out of 3 million people in that district, and they can't control 343 people? They slapping them on the hand. That's your consistent circle. That's 0.03% of the population that's causing all the problems. What's the problem with us fixing that 0.03%? I don't get it. Why are we having a problem fixing the problem? Sometimes I believe the problem is meant to be there on purpose. My granny always told me, y'all know I gotta go. My granny always told me. She said, if it don't make sense, Rand, somebody making some dollars. If it don't make sense to you, somebody making some dollars. Let me play this school teacher, then I'm going to get up out of here in a second. Let me show you what this sister said. And I want y'all to see if y'all agree with it. It's about 2 minutes long. Check it out.
People are like, what can we do to fix it? I'm not going to lie to you. I have no idea. After I posted my experience and, what happened, I had people from all over this country reaching out to me, telling me y'all's experience. And we're all in the same boat. Education is an absolute shit show. It is a walking shit show. And I'm like, it's like the problems are so deeply embedded that it's like, what can we do? Because county office is scared. Admin is scared of county office. County office is scared of these parents. These parents are scared of their kids, and the kids ain't scared of nobody. And I'm like, what kind of system? We can't work in this kind of stuff. We can't work in these kind of situations. And it's like every excuse is made for the child. That's not right. I'm a grown ass woman. It ain't no reason I should have to tell a child, do not put your hands on me. Why should I have to look at a child and say, don't put your hands on me? What y'all teaching them at home that they think it's okay to try to put their hands on a teacher? Why? I had a student who got in trouble, and I thought the SRO was going to have to take her out of there. And the girl called herself coming back to apologize. It was the most backwards apology I had ever heard. And the child looked me dead in my face. A 13-year-old, look, I'm a 32-year-old woman. 13-year-old looked me dead in my face and said, if they would have took me out of here in handcuffs, when I came back, me and you would have got to fighting for real. Girl, get out of my face. That's all I can say, because I'm thinking, you're not finna threaten me. You're not finna threaten me. I'm a grown-ass woman. You're not finna threaten me. You're not finna threaten me. And then I tell y'all the girl is crazy, and the girl is at the alternative school, but still on my roster. And supposed to be getting out of the alternative school. And if I had to fight y'all to get this child off my roster, the new child that just came, when that child get out of alternative school, and she a threat to all these kids in here and to me, because the girl done threatened me, I'm gonna have to fight y'all to get the girl off my roster. I'm not finna do it. I'm not finna do it. It ain't no job in this world. It ain't no job in this world that's worth your health. There ain't a single one. It ain't a single one. Because if you die at work, baby, they just gonna replace you the next day. Unless you a teacher. They ain't got no teacher, so they can't replace you the next day. But they gonna be sad, and they gonna say, oh my gosh, I'm so sad that such and such passed. No, these folks in these schools do not care about these teachers. These schools are an absolute zoo. All of them are an absolute zoo. And I'm like, people are like, what's the solution? Bro, I don't know. But some of y'all parents, how are y'all parenting y'all kids? Because they are terrible. I'm going to tell you right now, some of y'all kids be walking around these schools absolutely terrorizing these teachers. Absolutely terrorizing. Some of y'all kids get these teachers out here calling their psychiatrists to take extra anxiety medicine and depression medicine and all this kind of stuff like that. Y'all wrong. Y'all wrong. And then we call y'all to tell y'all what y'all kids done did, and y'all want to know what we did to your child for them to act like that. Get that. What's the purpose of calling y'all? It ain't no reason to call y'all. Now the parents that are supportive, we appreciate y'all, but the majority of y'all ain't worth two rusty nickels. Y'all kids bad, and y'all kids disrespectful. They ain't got no respect for authority whatsoever, and they don't care. They think everything is funny. Teachers having a breakdown, y'all kids laughing at them. It's not right, man. It's not right. I'm trying to figure out what kind of kids y'all raising. So that particular situation was the one that ended up, that was like the straw that broke the camel's back. But I had another situation in January with the student that I just told y'all threatened me. The child absolutely ran rampant in the 7th grade building.
Okay. Maybe part 2 tomorrow, something I'll tell you about our other situation, but this is not an uncommon story. This is not uncommon that teachers are now coming forward. They're getting out of profession of teaching. Some of them are telling the truth of what the real problem is. Our kids are not being properly taught at home. How they're not being disciplined at home. They're not being installed in discipline. They're not being taught how to respect authoritative figures. They're not being taught that. And these are the conversations that we need, that really need to be had. And they're just not doing it. And all you're going to get out of untold stories, just like Uncle Gerald, you're going to get these same circles. Everybody know they kid going to school acting a fool. They know who their kids are. They just say, hey, I tell you what, if you ain't going to listen to me, then I'm going to let them people deal with you. That's what they saying. If you ain't going to listen to me, I'm going to let them people deal with you. And that's crazy to me. And that's the same thing we doing, like I told you with our uncle, the dude that, Uncle Gerald. Same shit. I don't see politicians. I don't see them calling out the parents. I told you when that last police chief retired, I told you he was getting in politics or he waiting for a position or something because he's not saying what needs to be said in our community. And for some odd damn reason, I had this feeling that he must be running for something since he ain't talking about the real issue. And lo and behold, he ended up getting a job at a local university. And that's why he wasn't saying nothing. All I'm telling you is, it ain't gonna never be right if we don't have the right conversations. We gotta start holding our parents accountable. We gotta let our kids know that there's better things out here to do. And until then, it's just gonna be an echo chamber. It's gonna be nonsense after nonsense constantly. There's one way to fix this. We gotta attack the real problem. We gotta stop making up excuses for the problem. If you ain't about that, just get out of the way. Hey, I'll see you guys tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. I'll holler.